Hi, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Wednesday, September 25th. Well, the impeachment train is rolling. The House Democrats seem likely to vote to begin a committee hearing on impeachment matters. It'll be fueled, I think, by Donald Trump's release of a memo, not exactly a direct transcript of his conversation with the Ukrainian leader. Indeed, multiple times he asked him to investigate Joe Biden and said he'd have his Justice Department work on this too. This may not be a violation of campaign finance law, but it's certainly wrong to use the organization of the U.S. government to go after a political opponent. Needless to say, the Arkansas congressmen don't mind. They say they're just a partisan political witch hunt. Only two of them, Steve Womack and Bruce Westerman, indicated that it might look kind of bad for the president to use a foreign country to go after a political opponent. The rest of them are in full defense mode. Tom Cotton particularly, not too surprising. Donald Trump, by the way, says that he may now, in fact, release some of that whistleblower's complaint about his behavior. All of these things are happening precisely because the Democrats are talking about impeachment. So it's a good thing. It may have political fallout, but sometimes you have to do what's right regardless of the fallout. French Hill, by the way, is particularly saying this is just a waste of time, and he should worry about an inquiry into Russia, given his own dalliance with Russian leaders and Russian apparatchiks in the company of Dana Rohrabacher a while back, probably in a meeting arranged by a staff member who has their own Russian connections of a sort. French Hill perhaps doesn't want a lot of inquiry into the dealings he had with Russians who favor Donald Trump and not Democrats. Talk today with Frank Scott Jr., the mayor of Little Rock. You can read on the Arkansas blog his comments about the state's action last week for a framework to run the Little Rock School District beginning in January. They will have an elected board again, they say, but it'll have limited powers, and they don't intend to let the locals run some school districts that are falling behind academically. Scott doesn't want to talk specifically about some of these specific proposals. He insists he's still for a complete return of complete local control of schools, but he wouldn't say what he felt about the specific idea on state control of a handful of the schools. He also significantly declined to comment about the proposal to end union recognition of the Little Rock Education Association. He said he cherishes all the teachers, union and non-union. I said that wasn't an answer. He said he'd answered my question. You decide. He did say this. He said he recognizes that if the state does end recognition of the LREA, there is a chance of a teacher strike after that happens next month. He said the city is taking steps to look after children and have a place for them to go if that should happen. He seems worried about negative national attention to the city. Indeed, so should the governor, but he apparently does not. Elsewhere around the state today, the State Board of Corrections is going to meet Thursday, and they're going to talk about getting behind a private prison proposal. Terrible idea. The last time Arkansas did this, it was a scandal of a poorly operated prison. They're meant for make a profit for private operators, not to have decent operation of prisons. They're cheaper for the state, and there's a reason they're cheaper for the state, because they're cheaper all the way around. Apparently there's a deal cut with LaSalle Corrections of Louisiana. There's not going to be a standard bid procedure. They've played in political politics before. Joyce Elliott called out this scam a year ago, but it looks like it may happen this time. Nominally, the counties will run this regional prison down in Drew and Bradley County, and the state can get around being viewed as actually the operator of it. Still a bad idea. The state of Arkansas, the governor announces, has new logos for all these newly efficient state agencies that have been created by combining 42 agencies into 15 cabinet departments. So far, it's produced some big pay raises for people at the top of these agencies, and now each of them have a brand spanking new logo. No cost. An ad agency that does about $5 million a year in state business was happy to volunteer to design these logos free of charge. So look for those coming on a car near and dear to you soon. Speaking of the transformation of state government, I learned yesterday that one agency that's combined a number of agencies into one is having a big fight about who gets the preferred parking places. That, of course, is a sign of clout in an agency. Nothing more important to somebody hurrying to get home to the suburbs than a prime parking place. And finally, the city board last night did talk about Airbnbs. It seems like they're growing at a rapid rate, not always being registered as providing lodging and not always paying the lodging tax they're supposed to pay. The city seems likely, perhaps finally, to do something about looking at a little bit better regulation of them, but we don't know. They are a popular source of income for maybe 350 or more households in the city of Little Rock. That's it for today. I'm Max Brantley. If you want to resist, write a letter to your congressman about Donald Trump. See you tomorrow.